quick story to share about a recent client, just to give you some insight on how unique real estate transactions can be. We had Sammy, a guitar player who works on a remote oil rig up in Alaska, looking towards retirement and looking for my neck of the woods. That's southern Idaho to retire to. He was looking for some acreage to be able to create a little bit of music, maybe in a like a warehouse or a shed barn, something like that, and room for gardening and animals and things of that nature. And his location in remote Alaska presented some challenges, which we worked through, which were kind of unique. But we ended up finding Sammy 30 acres, and what he got was 10 acres with a home on it, a 3 bed, 2 bath, standard home. And then adjacent to that were two 10-acre lots. It used to be an old mink farm, and if you have watched my channel or my videos, you'll see a video where I was driving in my car and I said I'm headed an hour, it was an hour and a half outside of town to this old mink farm to video a property for a client in Alaska. Because if you live out of state and you're interested in a property here, I oftentimes will go do a live video walkthrough or just video record it and upload it to my YouTube channel. And it gives you a kind of a good, it's better than looking at pictures on the internet. It's not as good as being here in person, but oftentimes we can do that. And if you like it enough, we can go under contract and get it off the market. And then, it buys you a little bit of time to come down the next weekend you have off to come down and see it in person while we wait to get the inspection. But, in that video, I said, I'm headed an hour and a half outside of town to video a mink farm. Why? Why not? Because that's part of the job. It's part of being helpful. It's part of here at Keller Williams, we say, come from contribution. Not every deal works the same way. So we ended up going under contract, and then to get creative with financing, which is often, a whole nother animal and a whole nother part of the real estate process. The seller ended up carrying the note on the land, the two 10-acre parcels, and a traditional lender, carried the note on the 10 acres for that the house was on. And I was able to get everybody on a conference call and worked it all out together. I made it super easy. And then the final struggle came when it was time to close and sign all the documents, with Sammy being up there on a remote oil rig. No notaries could get to him. He was about 2 hours from the closest town. And so we tried to get a notary to that town, but then to get Sam off the oil rig long enough to drive down there, sign the documents, and drive back up during business hours wasn't working because he had a job, right? So what we ended up doing is going through the large company he was working for, and they had a notary public, and we were able to get that person's credentials, and everyone was okay with that person doing the signing. So it was one of his own company's notaries that did all the documentation, and he was able to sign right there from the oil rig. So at the end of the day, we got the financing handled on three separate parcels. We got the notary done in a remote part of Alaska. And I'll even brag a little bit and say, I always recommend inspections, and some inspection issues popped up, and we are able to successfully negotiate that. We got him some new windows installed. We got the entire house cleaned. We even had a ductwork company come out and clean out the entire ductwork. And it was a win-win for everybody. So this is just an example of a common deal, or not a common deal. This is just an example of a real estate deal I've done recently in this market, where you're hearing a lot of rhetoric about interest rates are too high and housing prices are too high and nobody can afford to buy a home. Well, Sammy did on his salary of a oil well worker up in remote Alaska, and he's happy as could be, and so are we. And if you are looking for your own piece of heaven, and Idaho fits the bill, and I can certainly give you plenty of reasons why it might fit the bill, give me a call or go to my website, ronjones.me, and send me an email, and let's talk about what the possibilities are, and I'd be happy to discuss it with you.